Um, yeah. Well, Chris Brown. Yeah. But anyway, I have a lot of alcohol just to mix it mostly.
You have a lot of alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to mix drinks. Again, like I might have a drink like by myself every like month or two, just like one.
Yeah.
But most of the time, I have that mainly to like when people come over, I can make drinks for people, and it's a fun social event. I like drinks. I don't know if you noticed this. With the latte, I have like 3 different kinds of juice and milk and all that stuff. Yeah, my one of my favorite things is just drinks.
So tell me about your other drug experiences.
Other drug experiences? Oh shit, we're gonna go there on the YouTubes.
Probably not. No, I'd probably edit this.
Okay.
I would
okay.
like to talk about.
So YouTube, I'm afraid you're not gonna hear this segment. But we'll be right back with you. Yeah, it's like what is the absinthe that they put wormwood in it? It's the same thing, but with marijuana. Yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah.
Oh shit, salvia, alcohol.
Yeah.
But for example, Steve Jobs said one of the most important moments of his life was when he did LSD for the first time, and it sort of seemingly changed him as a person. That was when he went kind of crazy, started doing fruit diets. But that was also kind of what defined him later on, and why Apple probably was really successful when he started. So mind altering isn't necessarily like for the worse, but it's also not necessarily for the better, right? So if I'm okay where I am, kind of don't want to mess with it. Now I had a dream the other night that was pretty messed up. Obviously I wasn't on drugs, but yeah, I have these really like vivid dreams sometimes that like feel like it's actually happening until I wake up, and then a lot of the time after I wake up I'm freaking out a little bit, and then after a few minutes I'll be like, wait a minute, I'm in bed, what, this didn't happen, it was a dream, whatever. It takes me a little while though.
Yeah.
But the dream I had the other night was just normal day-to-day stuff, but then I can't remember what set it off to happen, but like, I don't know, maybe a meteor hit the Earth or something, but it had a large enough impact to send us out of our orbit. And so we were like slowly drifting away from, I think somehow the moon knocked out of our orbit, and also we were out of the sun's orbit. And so all I remember, like the big moment was like some sort of impact, and then looking up into the sky and seeing the moon get smaller. And then like the rest of it was everybody, kind of realizing that, oh, we're going to be dead very soon because we're going to get further away from the sun. It's going to get cold, and it's going to be the end of life as we know it. That was a really intense dream. Then I woke up and I was like, oh, whew, thank God. That's awesome. Or, yeah. But I don't have those
Do you ever have
super scary dreams very often. So.
Do you ever have sleep paralysis?
No, but that sounds scary as shit.
I've had that happen
Yeah.
several times.
I've heard people that have it, a lot of the time that's where like sort of ghost stories and stuff come from.
Yeah.
It's because people will wake up in the sleep paralysis, and I guess maybe you see
Like
stuff too.
Succubuses.
Yeah, weird like some creature, like shadow creature staring down over them and stuff, and they can't move at all. Which describes a lot of ghost experiences people have too. So,
yeah, I had that happen once in high school, and I thought it was like a spiritual experience. Then I went 2 years to study to be a sleep tech, and we learned about
sleep paralysis,
and I was like, oh,
never mind. You're like, well, shit.
It's a normal thing.
So much for my belief system. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, drugs. I mean alcohol.
Yeah, drug alcohol.
And sleep paralysis. Those things really, I guess for some people they make them like more spiritual, but to me they reinforce not
reality.
being spiritual.
Yeah,
because it's just like when your brain is fucked up,
it's
fucked up.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
Like when people have near death weird experiences, it's like I'm sure you would
Mm-hmm.
if your brain is dying.
Yeah.
You know, everyday reality is like a set point.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like your brain is in balance, chemicals are in balance, tuned. You know,
Mm-hmm.
if you mess with the
The
chemical
balance. Shit gets weird.
it does.
Yeah.
Even, you know, with antidepressants or pain medications
Yeah.
and withdrawal from those.
Yep. No, and that's another thing that's scary to me is I hate how much we rely on prescription drugs. You know, as much as they probably do help a lot of people in a number of cases, I feel like that's like too quickly the solution to people's problems. You know, and I wish that, you know, for people who do need all sorts of, you know, prescription drugs for, you know, depression or other issues, yeah, I just kind of wish that there was a better way to work it out before turning to those, you know. And I don't know, maybe that's up to the doctor. Sometimes maybe the doctors are more traditional, and other times they're probably going to turn to medication. But yeah,
Well, I'm on 2 different antidepressants now,
yeah.
and
Like at this very moment, also, or just you take them. I don't know how you take these kinds of things. So
well, I take it every day.
okay,
So I mean,
kind of, sort of.
yes, now.
Yeah.
And yeah, my psychiatrist is kind of weird.
Kind of weird. This the Indian lady?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw her last week, and she was like,
Also the one that reinforces sort of like beliefs, religion stuff.
"Yeah, you ever watch Family Guy?
Not a whole lot, but yeah.
You know the maid on that show? Like all she
No.
says is, no, no."
That's what she's like.
She's like, looks like that and sounds like that.
That's awesome.
She talks like in a really creepy way.
Yeah.
She's like, "My daughter is driving to North Dakota right now." And like, okay.
All right.
And she showed me pictures of like her whole family on her phone.
Right.
And I was like,
She's
I want to go to
psychiatrist.
Branson, but my husband won't let me. So
What?
yeah, she's pretty weird.
It's weird.
But there's
yeah.
not a lot of choice here.
Yeah, no, I would imagine not, but it's still like, how do you? I don't know how that would help.
Well, she pretty much just prescribes medication.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much what psychiatrists do.
Yeah,
And then
psychologists
therapists
more.
are
Yeah,
separate.
yeah.
Psychologists, yeah.
That was always my understanding. Psychology is they're the same as psychiatrists, except they can't prescribe drugs.
Yeah, but they're not the same because
Yeah.
they do more of the therapy,
Therapy stuff.
like
which
actually talk to
I
you.
would probably say, even though I have absolutely no expertise or experience in this, so my opinion is completely garbage, but I would probably prefer therapy.
Well, my understanding is that medication and therapy together
Go
is
hand in hand.
the most effective thing.
Yeah.
And I've been going to therapy, Midwest anxiety, like back in Kansas City.
Hmm.
It's like exposure.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
based.
You said with the younger guys closer to your age, and they actually make you go out and do stuff.
Yeah,
I thought that was really cool. That's what I would want to see. Because if you have social anxiety, I mean, you're never gonna get over it unless you kind of have to face it at some point, right?
Right. It's like
Baby steps.
that YouTube channel I showed you
Mm-hmm.
just now.
Just going up and like asking a stupid question, and high-fiving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He says he bases a lot of his ideas on that guy's channel.
Interesting.
His exposure ideas.
Oh well, no, you have to have a lot of balls to do that kind of weird stuff, especially when he
Yeah.
pulls up his shirt and slaps his stomach.
Right.
I hope that's not like he's gonna be like, all right, now slap your stomach, and then you can go out in public and do that. 'Cause
Well,
I don't know if I would do that. You know?
I think it's like that'd be an advanced level.
Yeah.
You know.
The advanced class, you just like, well, next step, streaking. We're gonna go to a soccer game, guys. Get ready. Yeah.
Right. I guess the level that we're supposed to get to is like me asking for girls' phone numbers.
All right.
And it's kind of like slowed way down though, because I was going every week, and now I'm gonna go every month, and that's just a financial thing.
So you normally go every week. This is during the weekend, and if you go, and so you're basically doing 1/4 the visits.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is we need to go out and lay the Mac down on some ladies
Yeah.
for your mental health.
Right.
Yeah,
I
an
mean,
excuse.
Yeah. I'm supposed to do it like by myself, but it's like,
Oh, gotcha.
like
Well, but come on,
you said, you
you
would,
need a wingman.
exactly. Yeah.
And I don't feel like that's something that would, especially alone, would happen overnight. You know, like I wouldn't even do that. You know, like
would do that.
yeah, I don't. Well, and that's one of those things now. Now that I live alone, I think that's sort of going to be how it's going to happen. Is I'm going to just meet somebody and we'll hit it off in public, and we'll just be talking because there's not really a circle of people that I can now meet people with because they're all gone.
Yeah. So if you see a girl you're attracted to, you're by yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and you see a girl in public, will you approach her?
Not usually. Just like I said, again, I'm just not really looking very hard right now. But also, I will greet people. I almost greet everyone I see. Like when I'm walking or biking, I give a head nod, like just a simple head nod. And
It's a very Kansas thing to do.
head nod, yeah.
Greeting people.
Oh, yeah.
Like people say, if you go to like big cities,
Nobody. Well, no. I wouldn't either, probably in that case, because there are too many freaking people.
Hello.
But here in Kansas, they're only like you walk down to Aggieville, and even in Aggieville during your typical daylight, you're only going to see like maybe 10 people along the sidewalk.
It's true.
So, I mean, it's not a whole lot of people to be greeting, and I think just like casual, friendly gestures kind of help introduce yourself even without talking. And I've been with friends, and I'll like just like smile and give a head nod to like some chick, right? Who's walking by, or like maybe she's jogging or something, and half the time they will initialize the conversation. They'll be like, "Oh, hey," like I don't know them, they don't know me, but they just vocalized, and I did not. And I've had friends like be like, "Did you know that person?" I was like, "No, I just gave a head nod,"
Yeah, I think it depends on the confidence you give off,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think I give off a lot of confidence.
Well, but that's the thing, man. Fake it until you make it. And I know that sounds silly, and it does not sound like believable, like or you can achieve that right now. But that's kind of how I came out of high school. I did not have the confidence, and so I just started acting like I did.
Mm-hmm.
And you took acting classes; you're probably better at it than I am. So, I mean,
Like we went to the movie a couple weeks ago, and you give off so much confidence, so palpable that a girl went by in a truck.
Oh yeah,
I was like,
yeah, that was hilarious.
Hey,
that happened again the other day. Totally different
your car.
I don't get it. I'm not trying.
Roll down your window.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
Why
I
do you?
like
And
your
she's
car.
in the car with presumably her boyfriend. Like.
And it's not a real fancy car.
No, it's a Nissan, the 2002 Nissan Maxima.
Yeah,
And
it's a nice car, but
it's
not,
nice,
it's not
but
a sports car.
Yeah, it's not something that like sticks out, and somebody would normally compliment you on your car.
Yeah.
The only thing I could think of is maybe she had one before, or still does, and she's like, yeah, camaraderie amongst Nissan drivers, I used to do that when I saw a Toyota Previa as my old minivan, because that thing was fucking awesome. I still do it. I'm like, Previa.
Maybe it's like The Secret.
The Secret?
You know that book?
I don't think I do.
You give off vibes into the universe, and like
Okay.
stuff happens based on that.
I think there's a little, maybe not so much like magic to it, like I'm just giving off a vibe, but scientific, body language and I don't know, maybe pheromones or some bullshit. Like I don't know. There's probably something to natural confidence and like visualizing it.
Palpable is a funny
Palpable.
word.
Yeah.
I remember Anderson Cooper said that a lot at the CNN Hero Award thing.
Yeah. Another thing, like simple body language things, like, and I looked into this stuff at one point because I was interested. And when you walk, you don't look down at the ground. You look ahead where you're going.
Yeah.
Like just something simple like that can show so much more confidence.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't think about that, but
yeah.
But
I
try it.
I kind of hate that that's a thing.
Well, I don't disagree, but I don't think you'd hate it if you were able to just kind of like convince yourself to do it, right? If you once you, like I said, fake it until you make it, like just keep doing it whether or not it feels awkward. And eventually it's going to feel natural.
Yeah.
And then once it feels natural, it is natural and voila.
That's the plan.
Yeah.
That's the idea behind therapy.
Mm-hmm. But one of these days, yeah, we should go out and just, even though, obviously bars are not your scene with the social anxiety thing, but
And the peeing thing, that's...
the peeing thing, bars are the worst, yeah, you're right. But we can go, I don't know, a coffee shop. Coffee shops are relatively easy, like, social events, right? Everybody's using the computer doing their own thing, but there are people around you. So it's like sort of getting into the stepping into the pool.
Yeah.
You're like, well, the water's a little cold, I don't know if I like it. Instead of diving straight in,
Right.
Analogies. But yeah, no, coffee shop, I've thought about that. I made the lattes that we just drank, whatever, earlier, and I ordered that machine, I don't know how many months ago, and it's probably already paid for itself because I'm an addict of espresso and whatnot, but and before I would never even stay in coffee shops, so it's not like it's changed anything. But now that I live alone and I'm not dating anyone, I'm doing my own thing, I've thought about that more. It's like just because at home I'm on a computer, that's something I can do at a coffee shop. So even though I'd pay more for a drink, sitting there on a computer and drinking the drink there is gonna invite myself into a number of new social events or potential social events that I would never have at home.
Right.
So I've thought about going to a coffee shop and actually paying more for my drink than I can already make at home, and just doing my thing that I normally do, because surely at some point somebody's going to come up and say something for whatever reason, and that's how new friends and people are met. So I don't know. That's like I said, an easy way to introduce yourself is you're not like actively doing it, but you're going to. Especially whether or not you're talking to or ordering a drink. I mean, simple things.
Yeah. So, you see in the Jergen video that my therapist said that making these videos is
sort of like an antisocial thing.
avoidance thing.
Yeah.
But if it leads to like us going out to a coffee shop,
Then well, and that's the
it's something.
thing. Was he or she? Was that which one was that? He. Okay. Was because I can understand how doing like a video where I'm like just me, not like alone talking to a camera,
Yeah.
could be social avoidance.
Mhm.
But when you're over here interviewing me, I don't think that's avoidance.
It's something.
It's something. Well, the rest of the internet's going to see this, and you're not
Yeah.
interacting with the internet directly, and that's
Yeah.
the avoidance. But you're interacting with me, and then
Well, you're
potentially we're going to go and do other stuff.
You're interacting with the internet directly, but not real people directly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, it is. The internet is weird. That and social anxiety is like different for everybody,
Yeah.
and people experience it in a lot of different ways. So like putting myself out there on the internet is not very difficult for me,
Mm-hmm.
but for some people this could be very difficult.
Yeah, it would be really,
YouTube
really hard.
videos.
Well, and it is, even though we're talking to a camera, you are addressing potentially millions of people, right?
Yes, but really 12.
12. Average view count 12.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, public speaking, even if there were 12 people in front of us, would be a lot different than us talking to this camera.
That's true. Yeah. I think about talk shows,
Mm-hmm.
late shows, like people and actors when they go on like Jimmy Kimmel. I think about how weird that is because they make it seem like such a natural conversation between two people, but there's an audience there.
Oh, yeah.
So like that'd be so.
Well, and you did acting stuff, but did you do any like performance, like in front of crowds or any of that, or just for the class?
Just the class.
Okay, so one of the things I did some acting stuff in like high school or junior high or something, junior high I think, and there was like a winter sketch show sort of thing that we did. I played Dr. Phil, but which meant obviously interviewer, but it was all scripted.
Can you do the voice?
Now I think I can't. I don't know. I don't have any lines, but when you're on that stage or any stage and there's an audience, usually it's lit, especially in like a professional sort of scenario, where like Letterman or Jimmy Kimmel, the lights are facing you,
Right.
and the audience is dim. So in that scenario, you can't really even see the audience. So a lot of the visual stimuli that might kind of scare you isn't present.
Yeah. And I think that like the amount of people doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
I think the audience, the live audience, would make me more nervous than the camera, even though that's being broadcast to millions of people.
Well, and especially in this case, like you can edit it, so you
Yeah.
have full control over what they end up seeing. So
And they don't, but
they do not.
But they know what they're
The live
doing.
audience is going to see everything.
Yeah.
That's scarier for sure.
Yeah, but a lot of those actors have a lot of practice doing that, so I don't think they're going to.
Yeah, no. They're
Like,
professional
slip up
actors,
and
so a lot of them probably got their start in Broadway or in sort of actual
Yeah.
acting theaters as opposed to motion picture or whatever. So
Yeah,
And-
and so they can be acting like
Yeah.
on the talk show. They can act like a nice
Yeah.
people and not be nice people.
well, and they also have on most of those talk shows, at least from my understanding, is not auditions per se, but practice runs, I guess.
Well, especially for comedians.
Yeah,
They
well, the
always
comedians
set
have
ups.
their sets already lined up for, months and months, but even just like the interviews,
But,
they have,
yeah.
this is what we're talking about, then this,
Yeah.
then this.
When they do interviews, they always like have setups to their jokes.
Yeah.
and it's totally scripted.
Yep. So, again, it's not as, I guess not as much confidence is needed when it's sort of laid out in front of you.
Yeah.
But it's still, you still have to have balls to do any of that. Being a talk show host would be pretty intense. But then again,
A certain
here
type
you
of
are
balls.
interviewing people on the internet. That's a start. I hear Jimmy Fallon's gonna need a replacement. So better put your resume in, yo.
Yeah, Seth Meyers replacing me.
Seth Meyers, is he?
I didn't even know that.
Huh. Yeah, that might be good. And the cat's gonna get in the picture. Huh. Don't be a dirtbag.